And we're back with another edition of the State of Sports Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Nick Vicario.
I'm Matt Leong.
And I'm Peyton Smith.
And on today's episode, we are breaking down NFL Week 3, the Monday night matchup between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, as well as the MLB Playoffs starting today, when this is coming out on Tuesday, September 29th, as well as the NBA Finals starting the following Wednesday. The Miami Heat take on the Los Angeles Lakers in a best-of-7 series to decide who's the best in the bubble. So without further ado, let's get started with NFL Week 3. Peyton, we know that your Raiders didn't get it done Week 3 against the Patriots. I know we did have a special telling people why to watch the Raiders. To be fair, Bill Belichick's strength as a coach is known to neutralize your biggest weapon. Darren Waller didn't have a great game.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, Peyton, without further ado, I want to let you lead it off in terms of the Raiders discussion as like a sequel to the episode that we had about a week ago. Go for it.
All right. Well, looking at this week, breaking it down, talked a little bit on the episode about our linebacker core, and that was a clear problem this past weekend. Corey Littleton especially. England killed us on the ground with their running backs. New England, the first 2 weeks, used Cam Newton for a majority of their run game. And then all of a sudden we have Sony Michel and Rex Burkhead going off for it. I think they had 4 touchdowns combined between the two, with Burkhead 3 of them. So it's like we the linebacking to pretty much solve that problem for them to keep with the running backs and be able to get those tackles in the open field against those the smaller guys. But I'd mainly say the main problem on defense was a lot of the guys are in position to make plays, but they don't make the play. I think I was watching the Steelers game, and one of the announcers was talking about how the Steelers defensive line was really good at crossing over, getting to the backfield, but never finishing the play. And so that showed a lot in the Raiders game. And we talked about Jonathan Abram a little bit in the episode as well, and how he flies around the field, and it's fun to watch him. But like John Gruden even said it himself, yeah, he flies around the field. He's just got to know when to be, when to utilize his, I don't know really how to say it, but
Athleticism,
yeah. Obviously, clearly, he's going to be there to make a play. He just has to get his timing down on the plays. Obviously, he flies a little too fast. He moves a little too fast for himself. And that's something he will learn the more games he plays. So that's all I'm just waiting to see from the defense. Offensively, clearly, Darren Waller was neutralized, like Bill Belichick probably game planned again. Didn't help that we didn't have Henry Ruggs. It could have helped break down some of their zone schemes downfield. But other than that, I'm not going to harp too much on the offense. It's really the things on defense that still need to be adjusted in order for them to actually be taken seriously later on.
Yeah, and I know going into the episode, the Raiders episode, that we were highlighting the defense as probably the Achilles heel of this team. And if the offense can't keep up to what the defense is going to allow, then it's going to be tough for the Raiders to stay in most games. But you have to say, with Cam playing as well as he has, with the Patriots are 2-1. To be perfectly honest, they could have been 3-0 if not for a bad goal line call by Bill Belichick against the Seahawks in week 2. I got to give props to the Patriots. They've looked really well. They looked really good. Sorry, apologies for my bad grammar. But the Raiders, like you said, I'm not too worried. This is just a good team playing at home, and I'm hoping the Raiders can just get some momentum going to the next week's against the division matchups, the Broncos, the Chargers, the Chiefs. I'm hoping that they can get some momentum going towards there. and definitely bring their West Coast style of offense on the road and dominate like the game of possession. Not let their defense be on the field for a long time. Not really expose them to what offenses can do. See, next games that you guys want to highlight. Any other games that we want to highlight before I just go down like a list and just go break down?
I mean, the Falcons choked again.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
Well,
yeah,
okay, that's right. That's a general storyline each week. We're gonna roast Mac if he was here about the Dodgers. Another choke for the Atlanta Falcons. It's like clockwork at this point in the 2020 NFL season. Who's the coach for the Falcons again? I forgot his name.
That's a great question.
Eludes
actually.
me. It really eludes me.
I have his face in my mind.
I know he's bald.
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
It's is it? Wait, hold on.
Atlanta Falcons head coach.
I don't know. I lost it.
Dude. Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. I don't know. This is tough. The game plan, the play calling down the stretch, when you have a 3-point lead, you have 3:29 left, and you decide to pass on all 3 downs, that's really, really head scratching. And for a team that has top shelf talent, Todd Gurley, whether you consider he's healthy or not, Matt Ryan, who's still one of the top quarterbacks in this league, whether you consider him really elite or just a pretty darn good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. You have Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones. You have no longer the pride of San Ramon is in there. You have Hayden Hurst.
Oh, Austin Hooper?
Yeah, Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper's not there anymore, is he?
No,
He is not there. He's
Yeah,
on
I
the
was gonna say.
Browns. He's on
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
Browns.
say. So Hayden Hurst is in there. He's a good tight end. So this offense has got weapons. Obviously, the defense has been riddled with injuries in the past. I know they didn't want to commit to a lot of money for some veteran free agents, but the play calling down the stretch when you have the lead, that's really head scratching. And the fact that it's not happened once, twice, but 3 times is really concerning. Dan Quinn, if it happens a 4th time or if they lose flat out, right? I don't know. Is Dan Quinn fired? I could say there's a good chance he could get axed. There's no reason why. 4 games, and you have the Saints, the Panthers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in your division, all who can kind of beat up on you if you're not playing your A game. I don't know. Dan Quinn may get the axe if another week happens like this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Quick takes.
Yeah, straight up.
Peyton?
I think he's gone.
Nah, I can't say he's gone just because their offense is successful in the games. It's just their game management later on isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say they'll give up on him that soon. But you never know. So
You never know.
Oh yeah.
We'll take it like that. Let's see. I'm trying to think. The Titans are now 3-0. The Vikings have somehow slid to 0-3. Mike Zimmer and the Minnesota Vikings not looking good. Meanwhile, the team that I didn't think would have a good start to the season, the Tennessee Titans, started 3-0. Who would have thought that? Who's the coach again? I'm trying to.
Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel. Yeah, I didn't think that Derrick Henry. I thought teams would be able to better game plan for him. B, I thought that Ryan Tannehill would have less success, but hey, it seems like they're able to just grind out wins. Props to the Titans, getting some good leverage in a contested AFC South. I'm props to them. Good job.
Yeah, props to them, and 2 games without AJ Brown. So
exactly, they're doing it, and I'm really surprised that Derrick Henry's having a good season. I just thought teams would be able to better game plan for him. But hey, props to them. So,
and I'm sorry, I just need to interject a little bit, but they
we
had
got a tie this
a lot
week?
of. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh jeez.
No, we had a tie and the Lions win, which I also want to talk about because that was interesting.
We'll talk about the Lions win. Let me address the tie. I had Joe Burrow on my fantasy team. Didn't start him because I got Aaron Rodgers, but man, I feel bad. Joe Burrow really deserves his first win.
He's nice.
And he's
nice.
solid. He is solid. Like, he he doesn't lose you games. That's step one to being a good quarterback. B, he finds his guys. That's step two for being a good quarterback. And three, he makes plays on his own. That's another thing for a great quarterback. And he's doing all three. He just needs to get the wins behind him. He just needs to get some actual tangible number of success, and number of wins for him to get the dues that he deserves. But otherwise he's having a good season. 31 for 44, 312, 2 TDs, solid line. Let's see, the Steelers 3-0. James Conner, workhorse back, getting his due in now that he's no longer injured after week 1. Ben not looking like the same Ben Roethlisberger of old. Obviously, we understand that he is aging.
He still threw for 237, and 2 touchdowns. That's crazy.
Still threw for 237.
Like, that's not bad.
Considering
like,
James Conner did rush 18 times, 109 and a TD, that's some pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
I just think that Ben's not as much as in the game plan anymore, and they're really letting James Conner dictate the pace on offense. The Panthers beat the Chargers. Justin Herbert, 35 for 49, 330, and 1 TD. No interceptions. At least I don't think so yet. Austin Eckler, 1 TD. Keenan Allen, a TD. Panthers just find a way to win. That's all I can say. The Chargers defense just couldn't get it done. The offense also couldn't get it done late, even though Justin Herbert was completing a lot of passes. Not really getting downfield, looking more like a check down guy so far with the amount of throws and the amount of yards, the ratio for that. The Bucks go 2-1. Broncos go 0-3. The Seahawks I'd say embarrass the Dallas Cowboys because just looking at some of those plays, obviously DK Metcalf dropping the ball in the end zone, that was pretty rough. But looking at some of the blown coverages and then the blown special teams, especially on the safety, the blown coverage, I think, for Tyler Lockett's touchdown. I think it was Tyler Lockett's touchdown.
Yeah, there's a lot of one-on-ones that they had downfield.
Yeah, so Dallas Cowboys, I don't know. I'm not sold. I understand they got Aldon Smith. I understand that they got some really good players all around both sides of the ball. I don't know. Not sold. Seahawks, though, what can you say that hasn't already been said? Russell Wilson's having the season of his life. He's now emerged as the top.
I told y'all.
Russ has been balling out. I think that's all. We all know that he can ball out.
I think I said this on the last podcast, on the last recap. I was like, "Yo, the Seahawks are nice." Like, I reluctantly say that as a Niner fan, but they somehow do it every year. They just somehow figure out a way to be unreal in terms of how good they are. And some years it doesn't have to be Russell Wilson in like dominating the game, but now he has fully taken over and now dominating games, and it's scary. Straight up.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for that is that he finally has his true or a comparable core of wide receivers. You have DK Metcalf and you have Tyler Lockett, who really just do the work for you. Tyler Lockett's always been underrated in his time in Seattle, always been a good all-around wide receiver. DK Metcalf is that physical specimen, as you'd say. We know he would be good coming out of the draft because he was the only wide receiver in a very shallow draft class last year. But people were doubting him, or people always were on him. Let's say that. People always believed in him, even though he was taken really low in the first round. People always knew he was going to be good. Obviously, that drop at the end doesn't reflect how good he is as a receiver. But, man, he's having a good season, and Russell Wilson's always going to find those guys deep in the end zone. Packers Saints, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, a classic Sunday night duel, 37-30. Only gripe there is that Alan Lazard probably could have had a touchdown if he just went maybe like a few more yards, and I probably could have beaten Peyton in fantasy this week if that happened. Instead, he gives it to Aaron Jones, who Peyton has in fantasy, which is like, that's like a 10-point spread right there. So, yeah, that just a little personal gripe, but it was a great duel on Sunday Night Football. Drew Brees looked good, even without the slant master, Michael Thomas.
Yep.
Let's see. Aaron Rodgers looked good without his number one weapon, Devontae Adams. Alan Lazard got his due. 6 receptions, was 146, had a lot of deep balls. 1 TD, obviously. Aaron Jones doing his work on the offense on running the ball 1669 yards and a TD. But let's get to that Lions game. I know you want to talk about, Peyton. Go for it.
Oh man, I mean, if you've watched the Lions this season, their first 2 games, you would think they're a bottom 3 team. And we talk. Everybody's heard the hype around the Cardinals this season around Kyler Murray and everything, even MVP time. And wow, I did not expect a game like this. Like, I wouldn't have even thought that Kyler Murray would have struggled against the Lions and their defense. And this dude, had 3 interceptions that game?
I think so. Let me check this box score. Let's see. Yeah, Kyler Murray, 2 TDs, 3 interceptions, 23, 35, 270.
Yeah, see, those are extra possessions that they gave the Lions. And I mean, I don't care what team you are in the NFL. If you keep giving the team another team's offense extra possessions like that, they're going to be able to capitalize. And man, just coming from a guy that's, been talked about as, a potential MVP candidate in Kyler Murray, like, outings against a team like this should not happen, and they cannot happen. So that's something to look at going forward for sure.
Definitely. Let's see. Honestly, I think the Lions easily could be 2-1. They threw, and I mean threw.
Oh,
I watched it too. It was
the
bad.
Bears game you're talking about?
Oh yeah, it was bad. Like the fact that you threw it, not only to the Bears, but against Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, they didn't even have Nick Foles for that one.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, DeAndre Swift drops the pass in the end zone. That right there was huge. I didn't start him on fantasy. Like, I don't know if I would have lived it down if he dropped that pass and I lost by like a 6-point margin or anything. But still, they could have been 2-1. Now the season's looking okay, 1-2 when you could have been 2-1. You just got to win a few more games here. I don't know. The Cardinals have to take a look in the mirror and say, hey, we want to really contend for this NFC West title. We can't be giving teams like the Lions, let alone eventual teams like the Niners, even without Jimmy G, or the the San Francisco 49ers, or I already said the Niners, the Seattle Seahawks, or hell, even the Rams. You can't be doing that. You're a team that, say the Niners were healthy, you guys would be probably the bottom team in the West. So if this team really has those lofty ambitions that they know that they can do, led by Kyler Murray and having a guy like DeAndre Hopkins playing wide receiver, they gotta step it up in terms of just the overall game management, like we said with other teams. Let's see. Colts go 2-1. Phillip Rivers gets his first, I think, home win in Indianapolis. Jets go 0-3. I know my friend Mandy is going to say fire Adam Gase, and I'm right there with him. I don't know what they see in this offensive mind, only scoring 7 points against a team that should have lost, or that did lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who don't have that good of an offense, to be perfectly honest. I don't know. Sam Darnold had a bad game, sure. We all understand that. But Adam Gase also has to step in there and say, hey, I got to shoulder some of the blame. Game plan wasn't there. And he hasn't done that yet. I don't know what the Jets are seeing in him. But let's see. Bengals and Eagles tie. We already covered that. Raiders, Patriots covered that. Titans, Vikings covered that. Browns are surprisingly 2-1. And besides their Week 1 debacle against the Baltimore Ravens, they'd be 3-0. Nick Chubb looked good. 19 carries, 108, 2 TDs. Terry McLaurin for the Washington football team. I had to pause there for a sec. Washington football team. 4 receptions, 83. Dwayne Haskins, 21 for 37, 224, 2 TDs. What was Baker's line?
3 picks,
Mayfield
right?
under center,
3
gives
picks
the
for
ball
Haskins?
3 picks. Baker Mayfield, 16 of 23, 156, 2 TDs, QBR of 73.9. I don't know. I'm not sold on Baker.
I don't think anyone is. I don't even know if Baker's sold on Baker.
I was so hyped after he got his shake, and he led them to a victory, I think, over the Jets. Oh, man, I was so hyped. But now it's just all falling apart. Even though they won, you still don't see the same star potential that you used to see in Baker Mayfield. The Bills, 3-0. they're the team to beat in the AFC East. You want to say the Patriots because it's a system that's been there, done that. The coach is well seasoned in playoff football, but at the same time, you have a guy like Josh Allen, who, in my opinion, is Aaron Rodgers light. He's got the arm, he's got the aggressiveness, he can run with the ball, and he makes some outrageous plays. Sure, he makes some head scratching, boneheaded plays sometimes, but you get that from a young quarterback. But look at him, 24 for 33 and 311, 4 TDs, an interception, QBR of 83.7, decent on the day. Beat out his counterpart on the other side or other team, Jared Goff, with 23 for 32, 321, 2 TDs, an interception, QBR of 80.2. Not that much of a difference, but you consider the team won by 3. That's all the difference that you need at that point. And the thing is, with him, he's getting it done with a cast. And when I mean a cast, I mean a cast. Like, this is looking like Phillip Rivers of old in terms of how many guys he's getting involved. Stephon Diggs, the acquisition from the Minnesota Vikings, only four receptions, 49 yards. But yeah, Cole Beasley. We're talking about the guy that was on the Dallas Cowboys, Cole Beasley. 6 receptions, 100 yards. Gabriel Davis, 4 for 81. Devin Singletary getting involved in the pass game, 450. Tyler Kroft, the tight end, 2 TDs among 4 receptions. Good for him. Josh Allen getting a running touchdown. Like I said, he gets a job done. Yeah, good for that. And I think week 3 with that is a wrap. Obviously, the Chiefs beat the Ravens, but I think we are all expecting Patrick Mahomes to come out and really put his foot down, especially after a narrow victory week 2 against the Los Angeles Chargers. And without further ado, let's go into football or baseball or basketball. What you guys want to cover?
Let's jump into baseball really quick, and
let's do baseball.
And yeah, let's do it. So, you got it, Nick?
Okay, I'll go for it. So, for those who don't know, we have a full breakdown of the Major League Baseball playoffs, the wild card round, that is, already up live when you're watching and streaming this. Make sure to stream us on all platforms and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and give us a like and a subscribe. Just want to shout that out there. But for baseball, we're looking at before. Obviously, we covered a bunch of the teams in the breakdown, but let's give our 2 teams to watch this postseason. We got 16 teams, an expanded playoff format in this COVID-19 shortened season. So let's give a rundown for the teams. Let's give a rundown for the matchups, and then we'll go to teams. So in the American League, you got the Rays against the Jays. You have the Indians against the Yankees. You have the Twins against the Astros. The A's against the White Sox. In the National League, you have the Dodgers against the Brewers, the Padres against the Cardinals, the Cubs against the Marlins, and the Braves against the Reds. Who are your guys' 2 teams to watch?
You can go ahead, Matt.
Oof, okay, so I'm going to pick one team from each league. My team from the American League, I'm going to say be on the lookout for the Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota Twins are a team that is flying under the radar, a team that not too many, even though they won the American League Central, that they don't get quite the respect that they deserve to be getting, because there's Cleveland in the division and you have New York, the Yankees, and the Rays. Look out for Minnesota. They're hot, they're really deep, and I'm excited to see them make a deep playoff run. My National League team, and my friends who are Giants fans are not going to be happy with me, and my friends who are fans of the team, I'm going to say, will be very happy with me. The San Diego Padres, extremely young, extremely exciting team. I say watch for those boys from Slam Diego. It is going to be a very interesting run. Kudos to them for making the playoffs. First playoff appearance since 2006. Very excited for them. The pitching is good. The hitting is unreal. The defense is great. I think they're just as complete a team as any team in Major League Baseball. And that's coming from a guy whose team you just crushed. So I really do have a lot of respect for this team, and I hope they go far. But they're going to be an extremely exciting team to watch this postseason.
Peyton?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just piggyback off of that because like Matt said, this is a team you have to respect. And from the past couple of years, I mean, it's been easy to just disregard them in the division with the Dodgers and, you know, the Giants when they had their shine. But, you know, if you've been paying attention to them this season, you have to respect them. I mean, they're so all around as a team that you can't really, you know, disregard them in any matchup they have with anybody in the NL at least. If they get far, I'd even say the AL, they probably are toe to toe with everybody over there too. But yeah, so I'll piggyback off of that in the NL, but in the AL, I want to say, obviously, I want to sit here and say, watch out for the A's, but I can't. I don't want to say, oh, I'm going to go to the other team in that series. I'm going to say, watch out for the White Sox. They may be that one little sneaky team that, you know, doesn't really receive much praise. They don't really get talked about a whole lot, but they still found a way into the playoffs. And who knows? They may just, you know, see this season as their opportunity to go and you know, make their stamp on the league and for years to come. So hopefully they show up with a good outing here in this first series. But yeah, I feel like everybody should watch out for them. Just a little sneaky.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's start in the AL. Like you said, I got to give props to the White Sox. Like you said, this team can go far. They're sneaky. Why? Because they don't get the national spotlight. They have bats that have been hot, can get hot, and probably will get hot sometime during the series. They have arms that can go the distance for them in this postseason. But I gotta say, my team, the Cleveland Indians. This team has been riding a monstrous hot wave going into the playoffs, only to play against probably what many people believe to be the best team in baseball going into the season, and that would be the New York Yankees. Now you're playing them at your home field if you're the Cleveland Indians. You have the surefire Cy Young Award winner, the American League Pitching Triple Crown winner, Shane Bieber, starting game one, obviously against the ace of New York, Garrett Cole. But you have to think that this team can definitely go far with the pitching rotation that it has, the depth, the playoff experience for those who have stuck around since 2016, and just like the drive of this team. I think they can get it done in October. And you guys already know who I'm going to pick. I didn't know if I was going to pick him to start this segment because
You're not gonna pick the Friars? Come on.
Because I don't know. I have to give my fair shake to other teams, but you know what? I'm going to bask in the sun. It's my moment. The San Diego Padres are your team to watch in the National League. Sure, we're going up against a team that we've lost to in the playoffs the last time we were in 14 years ago. But hey, we're called Slam Diego for a reason. We're exciting. Fernando Tatis is probably the most exciting baseball player to watch. He did have a slump around the 40, 50 game mark, but he is back thanks to his prominence in the final series against the Giants this past week. The pitching, it's going to be a little bit tough. Hopefully guys come back. Hopefully they're healthy. Hopefully we can get some innings. But the bats, my goodness, Manny Machado's playing up to his money. Where are all the haters now is what I'm saying. Will Myers, NL Comeback Player of the Year. Jake Cronenworth, NL Rookie of the Year. You have a hitting catcher in Austin Inola, who we've got team control. We got Mitch Moreland, who we got for the postseason. We got Tommy Pham, formerly of the Rays, who's got postseason experience, a good vet. Also got Eric Hosmer, who's won it in 2015. We got some guys who got some postseason experience. We got some young guys with some energy that got something to prove. And we're coming to you from the city of San Diego. So I say Padres are your team to watch, whether they go far or not. I think it's just going to be a fun ride, especially for those rooting for the Friars. And yeah, those are my takes. Any other takes before we head over to the next sport? Or I think we should just leave it at that and then let anyone else who wants to listen further go check out our full breakdown of the MLB playoff wildcard round. We're going to give you guys a division championship series, World Series round once the wildcard round shakes out. But go check our initial breakdown of the MLB playoffs. It's going to be on YouTube, Spotify, all the streaming platforms. And without further ado, let's go to the NBA. I know we have a breakdown episode as well, but let's just cover who are your players to watch in this Lakers Heat series, the one that we all predicted, just sarcastically. Who are your guys' players to watch besides the obvious? Mac Peyton?
Peyton, you got
Or
this.
no, Matt Peyton.
Man, honestly, you said that in the first name that popped to my head was so I'm gonna say watch out for Tyler Hero. I was big on him earlier this season, coming in because I really felt like he kind of fit that role in the Heat squad where it's like, we're bringing you in if you can't do anything else, at least be able to shoot the ball. And he is one of those guys that can definitely shoot the ball. And I feel like this series, especially with the Lakers guard play, I think Tyler Hero might have some breakout games here and there that may just boost them to steal some games from the Lakers. But did you want me to talk the other side too, or
No, just one player who you thought would be think would shine
I
this
would
series.
say Tyler Hero for sure. I would say expect him to average around maybe 16 points a game.
Wow. Okay. Matt.
I'm going to keep it in Miami, and I think a major player that is going to have an impact on the series is the Dragon, Goran Dragic. I think he will have a massive stamp on this series. I think he will, if it's Miami's year to win, I think it's going to be, of course, on the back of Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, but that will not get done without meaningful minutes and meaningful production from Goran Dragic. If he does not produce, that team will go nowhere. It's this Miami team is, and we'll go in. You'll hear it in the podcast, but in another podcast. But this Miami team is built compartmentally. Everyone has to do their job, and I think Goran Dragic, out of everyone, is the most inconsistent at doing his job. So I need him to play well if they want to have a chance in this series.
Okay. I'm gonna give two, and it's just like a role based breakdown. So my players to watch: Contavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, and Danny Green, the Green Ranger. They're going to be tasked with locking down the shooting guard spot for the Miami Heat. So who's that going to be on a nightly basis? That's going to be A, Jimmy Butler, who can score when he wants to, and B, Tyler Hero. The hot shot of the playoffs dropped, I think, 35, 39 against the
37, I think.
37 against the Boston
37,
Celtics
yeah.
in Game 3. But yeah, I think that their job is so crucial to making sure that this series doesn't get out of hand early and making sure that they can comfortably ride it to a championship. Any other takes?
I'm kind of excited to see the matchup between, or hopefully it's the matchup, Bam and AD. I really don't know if that's the defensive scheme they want to go out with. I know the Lakers probably wouldn't want to put AD on Bam, but I think the Heat would probably try to put Bam on AD. And I'm just curious to see how that works out. So hopefully we see those two go out at each other.
Yeah, definitely. The matchup of the bigs is definitely one to watch. And I was gonna say that's one of the obvious matchups when you look at the teams on paper. You see marquee matchup in the front court. Bam Adebayo, the young rookie, or not rookie, I think third year, who is finally getting his fair shake in terms of the recognition that he deserves for what he does all on all aspects of the court, as well as Anthony Davis, the guy that people said could have been MVP. Probably should have been Defensive Player of the Year, but yeah, that's going to be definitely one of the matchups to watch. For a full breakdown, obviously go check out our episode of the NBA Playoffs, where these two teams came from and what the series is going to look like more in depth. So just go check that out. YouTube, Spotify, the regular gigs, all your streaming platforms, because we're all on there. So I think for this recap, September 28th, I think that's good. Any closing comments for you guys?
Just to note that for our baseball thing, all three of us picked 3 different American League Central teams. So if you're watching on YouTube, or even if you're listening to the IGTV, comment which one of us do you think team is going to go the furthest.
Nice. Yeah, definitely do
I
that.
lost that one.
I mean, you got the Sox, Nick's got the Indians, and I got the Twins. It's all good, man. See how it goes.
Definitely.
See how it
Without
plays
further
out.
ado, wait, no, Peyton, you got something?
Oh no, I'm all good.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Nothing
shoot, man, I cut him off. But yeah, without further ado, I'm one of your hosts, Nick Cario,
I'm Matt Leong.
And I'm Peyton Smith.
and we will catch you in the next one. Later, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Hey everyone, it's Nick from State of Sports. Thanks again for tuning in to another edition of the State of Sports podcast. If you don't already know, we are on all of your podcast streaming platforms. That means Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, just to name a few. If you're on Apple, make sure to give us that 5-star rating. It really helps us expand this podcast that much further. Don't forget to check us out on social media. That means at State of Sports Pod on Instagram, at State of Sports SD on Twitter, and we have a YouTube channel, State of Sports. That's right. So for those who are on YouTube already, thanks for watching, and those who aren't, make sure to give us the like, comment, subscribe, the whole bit. Make sure to turn on those post notifications too, just to give you guys a heads up of when we post. And lastly, don't forget to send us your comments. We always want to improve as a podcast, so your feedback is always greatly appreciated. So once again, this is Nick from State Sports. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.